Okay, Dad, I just want to finish this game. Okay, Dad, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm almost at the end. What happened to summer?
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Gameboy.
It ain't over till it's over.
Chill out, Dad.
The good old days when Final Fantasy IV was Final Fantasy II and the SaGa games were shoehorned into the Final Fantasy series. Let's dive right in. The SaGa series had a really good start on the Game Boy, and so it received sequels on the Super Nintendo. But only in Japan. Some say it's because the creators had no faith that the games would get appreciated in the West, which I don't agree with. My bet is on the lack of time and money. After all, Final Fantasy V and Seiken Densetsu 3 were also not translated, and I don't think anyone would doubt their success. Whatever. We have 3 romancing SaGa games, and we'll talk about them now. So, let's start with the first one. Long ago, there was a war between the gods and their mortal children. In the midst of this confrontation, the god Allure created 10 Fate Stones to aid the hero Mirza in his battle against the god of hatred, Sarowin. Mirza died in battle, but thankfully Sarowin was sealed and the war ended. Sadly now, Sarowin plans a return, possibly this time using the Fate Stones himself. 8 different heroes will be thrown into this big conflict, and you can play as any one of them. So it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, everyone playing their role in the bigger picture. Kind of. Out of the dozens of hours that you'll play, often less than one consists of unique cutscenes for the character. Meaning that after you beat the game once, there's very little ahead of you besides repetition. Did I mention that this is the first game in the SaGa series with the random encounters replaced by on-screen monsters? Yeah, it's as if they didn't even want us to notice. Oh well, perhaps I'm being a little too harsh on the developers. These were the guys I've mentioned back when I talked about SaGa 3 on the Game Boy, the main squad. And this is sadly all they could deliver in time given for the brand new console. And that's pretty much it. With the language barrier, I couldn't get far into the game, and the only translation patch I found merely scratched the surface of the game, so I can't say that much about it. But as people with proper language skills reassured me, this game was clearly unpolished and full of bugs. Funny enough, from what I've heard, the WonderSwan port of this title didn't even give you the chance to collect all Fate Stones, which is really stupid seeing what role they play in the story. But thankfully in 2005, there was a remake on the PlayStation 2, and it's the first game in this whole retrospective that I actually beat myself. Oh, shut up! I'm in college, for crying out loud! I'll start by mentioning that the new character designs for the game are beautiful, which at the same time saddens me given how they look in the game. Yeah, it's stylized after the original, and you do get used to it, but I still don't like it very much. Then again, it sort of matches the English dubbing at times.
What do you think you're doing? Get out of town!
To be fair, it's not all terrible.
I am a Geklik of Wallen Isle. My name is Gelaha.
But when compared to the original...
私はワロン島生まれの月古族。名前はゲラハです。
Sorry, I think my body started melting. Oh, right! The main driving plot remains the same, although the characters were given more personal cutscenes. Granted, it's still not much, but I take what I can get. You mostly just venture into towns with your party members while taking on quests, which once finished can grant you rewards in form of possible money, equipment, and jewels, which are then used to strengthen your skills, which in specific combination let you gain class levels, granting you very special abilities. There's even a way to enhance your weapons to a point that they can even surpass the legendary ones. If you master all of this, you'll slash through hordes of monsters easily. And with hordes, I mean reasonably split up and balanced monster encounters, as it ought to be in a modern SaGa game. With a vast selection of characters, classes, quests, and locations, it's no surprise that some consider this to be the best SaGa game ever made. Although that's complete crap. Were they serious with this, beating all 8 characters? You know how boring it gets after the 4th playthrough? By then, the unskippable cutscenes drive anyone crazy.
Wicked, bad, naughty, evil Zoot! Oh, she is a bad person and must pay the penalty! Do you think this scene should have been cut? We were so worried when the boys were writing it, but now we're glad. It's better than some of the previous scenes, I think.
At least ours was better visually.
At least ours was committed. It wasn't just a string of pussy jokes.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it!
But Farel, I hear you say, no one is forcing you to beat this game 8 times. You could just watch special compilation videos on YouTube. Yeah, I guess you're right. Someone did upload a lot of material from the game, taking away the need to beat all the characters. But who was it again? You're welcome. I recorded these videos so that no one needs to beat the game 8 times, and that has earned me some respect from people. They come from all over the internet to ask me for tips on how to beat the game. And they do show me their gratitude for all I've done. As well as they should! I have some harsh feelings on this title, but I think it's entirely because I've played it for longer than any sane person would. The first time around, it was amazing, groundbreaking, and challenging, but now, after playing for over 600 hours in 13 playthroughs, everything seems like a predictable cakewalk. But regardless, whenever someone wants to give the SaGa series a try, I always point towards this game, as it's the easiest to get into. Although that still doesn't say much. It'll definitely give you an idea if this is the series for you or not. Oh, and pro tip, when starting out, really consider playing as Albert and not Gray. I've seen way too many people make that mistake. And now, let's talk about a game that wasn't so lucky with getting a proper remake. The story centers on the 7 heroes who once have saved the world, but then, centuries later, returned with plans to, you guessed it, take over the world.
Of course!
You control the royal family of one country and travel through the world to defeat these heroes, and save the world from their cruelty. Oh, what's that? You think that when I'm saying royal family, I mean that your whole team will consist of members of the family? No, I mean that the main character is the king, and every once in a while we get a time skip with a new generation taking the torch. You can beat the heroes in any order you want. Watch out, some can evolve should they not be defeated early, and so you have to consider your options. At the end, you end up as the final emperor/empress and put an end to the 7 heroes. Okay, technically the story is about as rich as it was in Romancing Saga, but the fact that the characters that you play as change several times during the game, and that you don't need to play 8 times to get everything, helps this title a lot. This is again a very old school RPG, so there's balancing issues and other problems, and naturally I only know about them because of what other people told me, seeing how I don't speak Japanese. Yet, I heard of a translation project, but it seems cancelled at the moment, which is a real shame since I really love the premise. Although those who have played the game claim that it was really difficult and flawed. Either way, before I learn Japanese, I can only wait for a remake or fan translation, which is what we got with the next game.
I would sacrifice myself, God, while I can still pray.
There is no chosen way.
Oh, don't let this commercial fool you. This was a Japanese advertisement for a game which was never officially released in English. Unofficially, however, the game received a full fan translation. But more on that later. First off, we again have 8 characters as in the first Romancing Saga game, but this time they are all connected. There's trouble brewing at the castle of Loan, so Princess Monica heads out to seek people who can help her. Future members of the cast, that is. Once the castle is saved, the cast splits up and ends up fighting against the 4 demon lords who wish to destroy the entire world with the Death Eclipse. Because I guess there's nothing better to do. How can they be stopped? Well, there are these legendary weapons that could save the world, and I guess you can already see the similarities to Romancing Saga. And once more, this game wasn't all the way finished, and the characters don't have that many individual cutscenes, which I will not be recording. Gameplay-wise, things don't change that much, but there's the option to put your characters into various positions for special combos, and outside of battles there exist actual mini-games and quests. It's much more ambitious and polished than the first game. Not that beating all the characters is a fun cakewalk here. And given that the game data was easy to edit, we did not only get an English translation, actually numerous ones from what I see, but we also keep getting Japanese ROM hacks with new content being delivered even today. People who play with the graphics, the music, they even implement characters from other SaGa games, making this the only place where characters from old SaGa games can unite. I guess this is it. Strange. I can't help but think I forgot about something. As if, in the time this video was made, something big and important happened. Oh, right. In celebration of the 25th anniversary of the SaGa series, between the 13th and 16th of March 2014, a special event took place in Tokyo's Roppongi Hills Cafe. The twist is, it was a presentation of crafts from the SaGa prefecture, all of them relating to the SaGa series. Get it? It's a joke! This SaGa is from the games, and this SaGa is the name of the prefecture. See, one is katakana and the other one is kanji. Forget it. Japanese is weird. This region is pretty known for producing ceramics and porcelain, so that's what we got. All of it sold out. By the by, if you think that's kind of random, Akitoshi Kawazu is said to have studied ceramics at the Tokyo Institute of Technology. Let that be a lesson to you, aspiring video game designers. Ceramics. I couldn't find any video footage from the actual event in Tokyo, but I was told that the series illustrator Tomomi Kobayashi had an art presentation. Akitoshi Kawazu himself talked about the games, and then there was food! Captain Hawk's pirate-style fettuccine, Sif's Valhallan Tide cream pasta, Imperial Throne succeeding salad, and Shriek! That's pretty impressive for a franchise that I've seen being called the worst video game series ever. However, what we all wanted to hear was the announcement of a new SaGa game, which is exactly what we didn't get. Regardless of all promises, even now as I'm recording this, in early summer 2014, there has been no news of a new title. It keeps being pushed back. Can't say that I'm that disappointed. Whatever it'll be, I don't think it'll work on my PS2 anyway. So coming back to that event, it sounds like it was amazing, and I wish I could have been there. And if any of you were only interested in the announcement of a new SaGa game, don't worry, I'm certain that before my retrospective ends, I will share this information with my viewers. But only because my release schedule is so slow. Next time we'll do something else, but then we'll visit the PlayStation SaGa games. See you then!
Do you want to dismiss someone from your group? I can do the job if you prefer not to say it yourself. I know many tales. Would you like to hear one? Everyone knows that tale. Perhaps its charm is wearing thin.